Hey guys, what's up? My name's John Meeting. I play guitar for Red Rocks Worship, and I'm a music producer, do a lot of stuff from home and on the road. I want to show you my workhorse pedal board here that I mostly use for live playing, church, different things like that, and that travels with me. So these are my live sounds. I'm playing this custom Veritas Portlander from 2016. Right now I've got El Rayos in it. Just to kind of switch up from the usual Bearcats that I've had a bunch of years. But that's kind of bass guitar tone. Want to talk through just like my pedal board from the top, running this Mogami cable into a JHS little black buffer up here. From there, we're going into the NANO Pog and the Digitech drop. So this is kind of doing like typical octave stuff. The drop is kind of like a reverse capo situation. So if worship leader changes a part on the fly, I can just transpose and keep the drones going or whatever. Then I go to Pog, Nano Pog, which kind of your typical low, high octave and then dry mix stuff there. From the Nano Pog, I'm running into this DPC-8EZ that I've had for a bunch of years. And this is kind of running all my dry effects. I'm kind of old school. I like to keep dry stuff and wet stuff separate, just for troubleshooting reasons. And that's how my brain works, kind of two separate worlds. But starting off in the looper, the first thing is on this Vertex Tour Elite 2 pedal board, get a lot of goodies under here. But first thing in the looper is gonna be the SP comp, kind of run like low to mid compression settings. And then I come back up top for the Jackson Prism. And that's kind of like my bass clean tone. So kind of show you guys what that sounds like here with effects and stuff off. Anyway, kind of a nice little gentle squish to it. Throw on a little verb. Kind of like my first stage is really just comp and prism. And prism kind of serves as like a tone shape. So you know, if I got a guitar that's a little bit quiet or a little bit hot, I can quickly adjust. If my strings are dying, I need a little more top end, you know, that lives up top, so I can make those tweaks right there. So comp and prism kind of first stage. Second stage, I've got comp and prism, then I'm adding in that Voyager underneath, the Walrus Audio Voyager. For a really nice, almost edge of breakup kind of sound, your typical thing people would say. A lot of times during live sets, I live mostly on this second stage, and then if I need to clean up, I'll just roll some volume back. You know, I really view my first stage as like very, very clean. So, you know, very chill, like. Second stage adds a little bit more with the Voyager. Third stage, I'm switching off the Voyager and then going to the Walrus Mayflower underneath. And this is kind of like a big singy lead tone. I'll stack it with the Pog a lot, you know, for your typical. That kind of stuff, so that's my third stage, is adding the Mayflower in there. And then kind of last but not least, I have this JHS SUPERBOLT and the KILT V2 underneath there that I kind of swap around for different things from time to time, but it's a little bit more aggressive, a little more spitty kind of. So then going from kind of third stage to a little bit more aggressive. Kind of stuff there. So that's my dry signal path. Then I'm running out of the looper into the Julianna for like different mod kind of needs and, you know, warbly stuff, chorus sometimes, vibrato, depending on, you know, the song. That kind of thing. Then I'm running volume right in the middle of the chain into tremolo, the Monument from Walrus Audio. Kind of your typical transition stuff. I'll use this for the swampy, you know, kind of swampy feel. A lot of times I'll use like that with like slide stuff for a little extra dynamic and layer there. Yeah, so after Monument, then I'm running into this AmericanLoopers custom junction box, where really I use that as like an audition thing where I can throw in like rack gear, or I could audition like a dry pedal in mono or a stereo effect right in the middle of the chain. It's really super useful. It's got a sum switch on it too. And then that is where the stereo path is being created. So from there, I'm running stereo into the HX Stomp, and I really just, this is the heart of my live rig. I just use amps, IRs, and then effects loop. It allows me to really quickly be able to flip my wets pre or post amps if a producer kind of requests the pushed amp sound, and also just move them post. That's kind of my typical live sound is wets, more of like a studio chain, wets after amps, in like a DAW or something, what you would kind of be working with. But so yeah, from there, I've got HX Stomp. What's in the effects loop is Timeline BIGSKY in stereo. Not really doing anything too crazy with those. Mostly just like tape mode, dotted eighths, dotted quarters, you know, eighth note delays, all that settings and stuff will change like depending on the context, if I'm the only player, or if I'm working with like a couple guitars or the setup and that kind of thing. But all of the wets are controlled by the MC6 right here. This is an awesome Morningstar MC6, just an awesome kind of way for me to really get to kind of the first sound of each song, and then from there I'm flowing. So, you know, in a set I'm doing song 1, song 2, song 3, song 4, and the way my brain works is I kind of want to get to the very beginning, and then I have 3 verbs kind of like on deck for that song, and then a couple delays. So if I want to change the vibe of a delay sound in the middle of a song, switch up timings or something, I kind of have that as an option. So that's kind of how I've programmed it. For verbs, kind of have the typical 2 to 3 second like medium washy cloud verb. On BIGSKY, I've usually got a longer 5 or 6 second higher mix setting like ambient verb, and then the third one for each song will be like a shorter 1 to 2 second plate, where if I'm doing like strict rhythm stuff or tracking something, trying to lay down like a really tight part, I can do that kind of on the fly. So that's kind of how I run my verbs. From there, going back under the hood, out of BIGSKY, coming back into the effects return here, and then the stomp is sending to the walrus canvas under here, which is a nice junction kind of at the end of my board, run an XLR out to front of house. So everything here is powered by this Pedal Power 2 here, Voodoo Labs, and then I've got 2 Strymon OJAIs here, daisy chained together too for just super clean sound. My friend Hayes built this board for me. He's one of our video guys at church and just did an incredible job keeping all the looming clean, keeping the power and audio cables separate. And so this thing is just incredibly useful, incredibly quiet, which is really valuable for me. So that's what's going on with the board, and we're done.